Westlink, Aluminium and Steel. Aaron, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
How are you, brother? Are you well?
I'm very, very well.
I hope you got your coffee, man. It's a bit early.
You know.
But I'm sure you're used to hard work. Your story is quite inspiring. Can you just give us a background on who Aaron Boateng is?
Yeah, of course, of course. Aaron Boateng is a founder and CEO of AB Westlink Aluminium Company. The company started way back in 2013 here in South Africa, but the background starts from Ghana, which my uncle owned the same company in Ghana. So from school and everything, I just grown up and having interest in that field. Then I was able to get chance to always visit them and work with them until I completed school and joined them. So yeah, it has been a journey, but I can say it has been a great one. Though there is upside and down, but all the same, it has been a very great journey.
Let's talk about that inspiration, because it was that spark from your uncle and engaging with him, watching him, because children a lot of the time they do what you do, not what you say. How important is it for a young person to be inspired, to be around things they want to be? I mean, you could have ended up anywhere, but you were pushed towards entrepreneurship. Can you tell us more about this journey of yours and how it aligns with teaching the youth about technical work and entrepreneurship?
Yeah, it's been great for me. As I was saying, that because of my uncle's company, it helps me a lot. And I think within me also, by searching deep down, like I believe even in school, I think I was having the entrepreneurship thing in me, because I remember I used to take things to school to go and flip it. And yeah,
so you're flipping at an early age.
At the early age, yeah.
We only get these things when they are put in nice packages and westernized, but we see them day to day. Bartering is a way of flipping to get. Can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, about the flipping thing, I was young then. It was very early age, and I think the background of where I come from and the situation and the condition at that time also wakes you up more, and I think that is what happens to me. It wakes me up more to do something, to change the situation that I was in. So anytime that there is a chance or there is anything that I see that this can turn up into be something, I take advantage of it and I make use of that. So yeah.
And let's start with Ghana. After realizing all of these different gaps, these opportunities, I'm sure the ideas of buzzing and swimming around your head. When did you realize that you can make something out of it, and when did the prospects of coming to South Africa happen?
Back then, I later became a project manager of my uncle's company. So whilst I was busy, we were working and everything, I've always wanted to experience and educate myself more on that field that I was. So I applied for a company in Dubai to go and work with them and gain more experience. And glory be to God, they employed me and took me into UAE, which I worked for Arabian Aluminium Company for a couple of years, and that also helps me a lot, and it gives me a lot of knowledge, and it gives me a lot of information about how things work and how things has to be handled. So yeah, I think that also helps me very well.
When a young boy looks at you, especially from Ghana, from South Africa, from anywhere, when they think about school, it's not fun. And we always tell the children, go to school, get educated. What kind of education? We have also unemployed graduates, and all of those kind of things come to mind. What part has education played, and what part did it play? Because it was that breakthrough. We're talking about breakthroughs. That's the theme. That's the theme for today. But before the breakthrough with the UAE company, what was the academic knowledge? Was there any type of schooling that led to that decision being informed in a better way, for turning around your fortunes to say, you know what, it wasn't just a chance. You took that chance, but it was informed, of course, by academic qualifications and all that kind of thing. Or was it?
It wasn't really about the academic education that much, because After I completed my matric, I didn't continue.
Sure.
I just strictly started working with my uncle, and
For
the
how long was that?
reason I worked with my uncle for about 4 years before I applied for that company,
Okay.
and then I left.
So you
to
almost did
Dubai.
your own education.
Yeah, background.
Alright,
And
got you.
yeah, and it is very important. Like, education and information lead to transformation. So, like, anytime, not only in classrooms, but anytime I get a bit of chance, I educate myself because of who I want to become tomorrow and the way I can be able to look into my things and being able to understand the company. I need to be able to educate myself more, at least learn and being able to capture some certain things. So yeah,
Let's explain defining education itself, because some people, I think I've learned that education isn't just in a textbook, it is not in the qualification. Education happens everywhere. What's your idea? I love the fact that you're curious and you like learning. Tell us more about your idea of what education is, because we are seeing people who've got huge tertiary loans. We're hearing that it's easier to maybe start with practical skills. There's a saturation in the market. What does education mean to you?
to me, education. That's why I was saying that education is not something that we gain in classroom only. There is so many ways and so many aspects that you can educate yourself, and you can. That's what I was saying, that information lead to transformation. So once I have that belief, I always want to search. I always want to make a research about some certain things that can be able to accommodate me or make me something at that moment. Any opportunity that I get, I make use of it. Anything that I see, I can see this paper. If I see that this paper, I can be able to flip it or use it for something that it won't be waste. Definitely, I will take advantage of that. Aside even my business of opening this aluminium business and doing it here, because of the way sometimes business I used to sell cars also.
Wow.
I used to,
You're a talented man.
Always. I always divert
Do you think we
things.
limit ourselves with these degrees?
We definitely, we definitely do. We definitely do, and I think we lack a lot of information, and we don't get to test ourselves and take some certain risks that will transform us from where we are. That's the one thing I have seen in the youth. Like, to invest in ourselves, it becomes a problem. Because if I tell you a story of how I bought my first cutting machine in South Africa here, and how, like, it's so amazing from where I'm coming from and where the business started and where we are now, being able to employ people as that, it's so amazing. It's so amazing, and yeah.
No, man, I'm absolutely inspired. And we talk about breakthroughs. Let's talk about challenges. It's nice to hear the title CEO, platinum mining companies, all of those kind of things. But let's talk about the challenges. Those dark moments where you thought, hey, this might be a huge challenge, where maybe you gave it to a higher power. Tell us more about the difficult spots, because we don't give each other that insight. We look at the flashy cars, we look at the end side. We envy people without knowing how much fuel it takes. And that's what I always say to people about envy. You envy someone, but you don't know what that journey took. Tell us more about the challenges you experienced.
Yeah, most in my industry, the challenges are with the customers and the suppliers. Sometimes there is dark days. There is sometimes that some months can go wrong, that you see some of the projects even hasn't been paid and stuff, and bet you have to, as a CEO, as the leader, as the owner, you have to be able to make all means to be able to cover that. You have to always have a second plan to back you up. There have been difficulties. You will face difficult customers. You will face customers who will give you help. You will face the ones who are very good and sweet to you. So I think we always pray for the best, but we prepare for the worst. We always prepare for that. So it hasn't been that smooth, but for the look of things and the grace and things that I have been able to achieve within such capital at this time, I say all the stress and the up and downs is worth.
So how do you approach it? Because we talk about entrepreneurial resilience. We talk about, for example, a lot of the Silicon Valley entrepreneurs. They slept in their mother's couches for months. They worked in garages. We don't talk about those stories at all. If you could give some pointers to some young entrepreneurs out there who are thinking about doing the same thing and reaching the heights that you've reached, you're such a humble individual as well. What would you say to them right now, listening to you? Where do they start?
Listening to me, where you start is first and almost, like even in a business or in any aspect. I think the partner, sometimes the person, people that you are even going to start the business with, you really have to be able to trust yourself, being able to get people that you can trust to leave some certain things in their hand, because most of the time I have seen some close business people who were close to me. They started almost something similar to what I did, but at the end of the day, it collapsed because they left some certain things in some people's hand and they don't handle it the way they should handle it. The passion and the love that you have for it. If you don't get someone who share the same idea with you, or who is in the same boat with you, want to ride with you, it's gonna be difficult. But if you get that person, I think you need to also respect that person's decision and being able to be honest and be truthful to the person and let the person know the bigger picture.
Who's this person for you right now?
With me, Walter Masuku. He has been a brother and he is my project manager now, that I can be able to even travel anywhere and leave the business in his hand. And he has been very good, especially like all my project team. Like we've been really, because I used to hear a lot, people are lazy, South Africans are lazy. But to me, more almost about 12 people that I'm working with, because of the way I'm hands-on and the way I do things for them to see. Like, even if I'm not there, they work more than I'm there.
Let's talk about stereotypes.
At
the moment, we are going with this. Especially that statement, you brought it up, the whole sentiment that South Africans are lazy. I always say it's absolutely unfounded. If you're going to get someone who's setting up a stand at 5 a.m. at a taxi rank to sell fruit, vegetables, and groceries, and whatever they're selling, are you telling me what time does that person get up? Is that person lazy?
No.
Do they deserve to be poor?
No, they don't deserve. Lazy? No.
Tell us more.
I think with me, like, because of my background and where I'm coming from also, and the way we talk, every Monday we start our day with prayer. We have made the company as a family company. Like, everything that they are doing, they do it with their hearts, like all their hearts out. Everything they know in the company, I taught them. I teach everything, but them knowing it still doesn't even take anything away from them. They're working as, like, I don't know. So I don't understand when we talk of South Africans, the ones that I have met and the ones that I'm working with, I can vouch for them. They're very hardworking, and when we have targets, they go all out to kill themselves.
How do you create this? Because there's a phenomenon that I've experienced, and I call it black on black violence when it comes to the service industry. And as much as we have a unemployment crisis, I think we have a higher, a bigger unproductivity crisis. Someone will come to you and say, "Listen, I'll do everything. I need a job right now." You employ them. Next thing, and it's a racialized thing, unfortunately, in South Africa. These are things we deal with. And my personal experience of it is, if you go to a grocery store, you get ladies who help you with the groceries. I've worked in the service industry before, and they were standing against the wall, and I had to pack my own groceries. A young white manager comes up and says, "Ladies, please, can you help this gentleman pack his?" Very respectfully. I like the way that he engaged with them. They went forward heckling him, saying, hey, yadina lona, that kind of thing. And I think it's a discussion as Black South African employees and employers that we need to have. What is that?
I don't know, because with me,
do we serve like other races better than ours? What is it? Is it what is that with that relationship?
With the black on black, yeah, you know, in most cases, to me, how I classify it and how I see it is, most people are very bitter, and most people has a bit of self-hatred in them. But other than that, like people that I work with and the ones that I have seen and been around with, I think all of us know where we are coming from, and we know the struggle, and we know how difficult it is of not having job, and how difficult it is of being in the house and not having anything to do. So we all sorts of a team that are working to make sure that this thing sustain us and this thing take us to the future. So yeah, there is those stereotype. Yeah, it is there. There is no doubt. But
of course, if you lean in on the negative stuff, you'll find it anyway.
It is there. It is there. But you know, most of the time, we tend to try to look at the positive side more, and not being able to, you know, look into the negativity more. And
so who should be listening to you right now, and how can they get a hold of you? If you'd like to collaborate, if you'd like to engage, and how can they get a hold of you?
The company is based in Bosbeck, 101 West Central Don Park, and you can get me on my telephone number 0722 860 555. And alternatively, you can check all the social media platforms, AB Westlink Aluminium on Facebook, AB Westlink Aluminium and Steel. You can check us on Twitter, you can check us on Instagram, all the platforms you can get it. So,
so just for our listeners, it's been absolutely amazing speaking to Aaron Boateng, who's of course CEO and founder of AB Westlink Aluminium and Steel. It's been I'm out of superlatives. You're an exceptional human being. Thank you for the work that you are doing.
Thank you very much.
God bless you.
Thank you. God bless you.
Are there any events that we should look out for, that we should engage in terms of what your future? If you could work with anyone or collaborate with anyone, who would it be? Anyway.
If I work with anyone, no, anyone who wants is having a business or a company, who need any ideas of how I started and where I am and anything, there is some few guidelines that I can guide the person. If you want to establish the same business in different place and how you want to go about it, if you need ideas on those, I'm more than willing to assist, or more than willing to help anyone who want to also open a branch and want me to maybe monitor or check or give him the guidelines of how to go about it. I'm more than happy to do that, because the thing is, we being able to put more impact and get more people to get interest in technical field, because that's one thing I have seen we lacking here. We don't have more technical people. Like, if I need something to be done by my house, I have to go and search, and you know, we don't have our little brothers being involved in this, because we think it's a dirty work, or I don't know how people takes it, but there is no country that will grow without a technical.
Thank you so much, brother. All the best.
You're welcome.